many days until training camp? 21. 21 days until training camp. Welcome aboard. Appreciate everybody stepping in. After a glorious 4th of July weekend, I hope everybody had a spectacular getaway. Whatever that was for you to get away, have great times with your family. By the way, you know that Snoop Dogg commercial with Corona? Best plans or no plans? So I got a little hibachi grill, put some skewers, some lobster tails, and all kinds of goodies on there. We had ourselves a secluded little dinner yesterday, and it was great. It was absolutely great. And I hope everybody had a chance to recharge, because that's what these weekends are about, especially when you got the 4th of July weekend. And, you know, we could see like fireworks too from our crib. So we were watching the fireworks. It just was all good, man. And especially the 4th, because you know what the 4th of July tells us? The 4th of July tells us now you get more of a litmus test on your baseball team if you're following baseball. We're right around the corner to training camp, just like I said. Right? You're right there. We're 3 weeks away from the start of the Eagles training camp on July 26th. 3 weeks out. And this baby's going to all start up here, man. So excited. And the news that we're seeing now on the NFL front, teams are getting themselves ready. All 90 guys are getting ready to rock and roll and go to camp. We're going to find out which teams are really going to get out to a strong start, weak start, what have you. And I just can't wait. So, whatever on your boggle, I appreciate everybody. Oh, by the way, Jeremiah, we have a Matt Nagy take today, too. We have a Matt Nagy. Flex goes, Hurts said he's going to have an MVP season this year. Really? He's going to have an MVP season. Wow. I can't wait to see that. Man. MVP, right? All right. Well, let's just do this then, because it kind of goes into one of my lists. And Jalen saying that he's going to have an MVP season has kind of added to what a lot of people around the National Football League, including the media people, think about the 2022 Philadelphia Eagles. Hang on here now. This isn't a Big Sills list. Okay? Bob says, Sills, what's your list of the day? Let's see. Who's going to get triggered today? Wait a minute. That's not what this do you think this is why I make these lists? Because I'm leading the witness. Is this what you really think of me? Oh, ye of little faith. Oh, ye of little faith. All right. Pro Football Focus has come out with the top 32 NFL rosters. The top 32 NFL rosters. This is not me. This is Pro Football Focus, which is becoming like the Bible for a lot of media people in the NFL, and a lot of people who covered the National Football League. Okay? Let me read these to you here as we get going. By the way, also, the most improved teams from CBS Sports, I changed their list up a little bit. And I'll tell you who I think the most improved teams have been this offseason here. So let's get it going here. By the way, please hit the like button. Thank you guys so much for coming aboard here. Let's get into this, because I saw this today and I was pretty shocked that people valued certain teams the way they did. Let's start it out here. Mike, appreciate you coming aboard. Thank you so much, man. Please hit the like button, guys. All right. I think we all agree on this one. The worst roster in the NFL is the Texans. By the way, this is Pro Football Focus's list of the top 32 rosters. It's not counting coaching. It's not counting anything other than that. Just the best looking talent that is on the football team. 31, the Atlanta Falcons. I agree. Headless, no quarterback. Yeah. I think the kid Kyle Pitts looks like he's going to be somebody. Number 30, best rosters in the NFL according to Pro Football Focus. The Bears. I think these three teams at the bottom, you could shake them up, put them in a hat, and pull either one of these three teams out, and I think you probably get the three shittiest teams in the NFL, right? Number 29, the Seahawks. Again, talk about a roster that's gone south under Pete Carroll since he's been given complete control of the personnel on that team. Since Paul Allen has died, that roster's gone the other way too. Number 28, Doug Peterson's Jacksonville Jaguars. Number 27, the Panthers. I think Matt Rule will be fired by midweek. How about this? By mid-year, Matt Rule will be fired. Number 26, brand new coach, brand new GM, Brian Dable's Giants. Now it starts to get interesting here. Pro Football Focus ranked the top rosters in the NFL. 25, the Detroit Lions. I actually like what they're doing up there. I actually like it. And I'll tell you something, Daz. That Jags roster, I think, is better than 28. I think it's better than 28. Number 24, the New York Jets. I think Joe Douglas is doing a nice job there, retooling that franchise. I think they've got a bad coach, but I actually think that roster looks a lot better than it has over the last decade. Number 23, I thought this was low. Okay? How about this one? This is Pro Football Focus's ranking. The Cardinals at 23, DeAndre Hopkins, Zach Ertz, Kyler Murray, much improved offensive line. You add Hollywood Brown, too, in the offseason. Really, the 23rd, I guess, worst roster in the NFL, according to Pro Football Focus, is the Cardinals? I might have had them higher. Number 22, the Steelers. Steelers have a decent roster, almost a top 20 roster. Well, Cam Hayward and TJ Watt on the defensive side. Yeah, okay. No quarterback. How about this one at 21? The Raiders. You just add Devontae Adams. You got Hunter Renfrow on the other side. You got a top 10 quarterback. Your back is pretty decent, and your tight end's good. And you got the Raiders at 21? I think that's a little low. Number 20, the Tennessee Titans. I think they've fallen because of the loss of A.J. Brown. I mean, A.J. Brown is going to be a significant loss to that football team, in my opinion. Hey, Chris, I agree. I think the Cardinals have a better roster than the Steelers, too. Number 19, how about this, man? The Minnesota Vikings, according to Pro Football Focus, have the 19th best roster going into camp. I'm like this, so wait a minute. You've got Adam Thielen, you've got Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook, and a pretty good old line. Really? Your defense isn't bad either. Yeah, no suspension for Hopkins, too. I'm like, wow. Number 18, the New England Patriots. Who's their star offensive people? I think most of their playmakers are on the defensive side of the football. Okay, I mean, who is a star in New England besides the quarterback? Number 17, the Washington Commanders. Again, Pro Football Focus a couple days ago came out with top 32 rosters in the league. Commanders at 17. I think their defense is really good. I think there's some really good players offensively. And again, This is showing you the hype now that is going in the side of the Philadelphia Eagles here, in my opinion. Get this. According to Pro Football Focus, they have lowered the Dallas Cowboys to number 16 on the best rosters in the NFL. I think a year ago they were 10th. They're 16th going into training camp in 3 weeks. Wow. They're trending the other way. And I agree with that one. 16 sounds just about right, too. Number 15, here are your top 15 rosters heading into the camps. Now, listen, remember something here. Coaching is not part of the evaluation here. This is just about player talent that's getting ready for the camps on July 26th or 7th. The Indianapolis Colts. I think you upgrade with Matt Ryan at quarterback. How about this? Number 14, with the addition of Russell Wilson, the Denver Broncos. You wouldn't have thought that they were a top 10 team? Well, coaching, yeah, but the roster's that's a pretty good roster, man. Number 13, according to Pro Football Focus, top rosters heading into the July camps in 3 weeks. The San Francisco 49ers. This is getting interesting. This is not my rankings. Number 12, outside of the top 10, the Baltimore Ravens. How about this one? Number 11, a team that I think is also flying under the radar, the New Orleans Saints. According to Pro Football Focus, have the 11th best roster. Their defense is good. I don't know how many games Kamara's going to get. Michael Thomas, they just go out and get the wide receiver from Ohio State. Jameis Winston, can he be the guy? That's pretty impressive. Here are your top 10 rosters heading into pro football's July training camps. 3 weeks from today, the Eagles start camp. The Miami Dolphins are at number 10. Yeah, that's right. People have to hope that that Saints team tanks because those picks become even more valuable if the Saints suck this year. Number 9, the Kansas City Chiefs. This is getting very interesting. Number 8, with all the things that they did in the O-line in the offseason, the Cincinnati Bengals are the 8th best roster in the NFL, according to Pro Football Focus. Number 7, according to Pro Football Focus, the rankings for the top rosters in the National Football League, the Philadelphia Eagles are number 7. Wow! They got the Eagles ranked ahead of the Bengals, the Chiefs, the Ravens, the 49ers, the Broncos, the Cowboys, the Patriots, the Vikings, the Titans, the Raiders, the Cardinals. Those are pretty damn good football teams. This isn't me coming up with a Big Sills list here. Look at what people are saying about your football team 3 weeks away from training camp. The 7th best group of players, talent in the league, resides in Philly. We're going to hit on that here in a minute. Number 6, the Cleveland Browns. I think that's got a lot to do with Deshaun Watson, too. If Watson doesn't play quarterback, Jacoby Brissett's the quarterback. Number 5, the Green Bay Packers. Be shocking to know this. But the Green Bay Packers are getting better on defense. adding more components, and there's a lot more star players on that side of the ball now. Number 4, the LA Rams. How about this? The third best roster, according to Pro Football Focus, are the LA Chargers. I agree wholeheartedly. Number 2, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the number 1 roster in the National Football League, according to Pro Football Focus, are the Buffalo Bills, which I wholeheartedly agree. That's a pretty good list. To put the Eagles 7th, actually, if you go back to our shows over the last 2 weeks, that's one of the reasons why I put that whole list together. Because when you look at all your groupings, tight end, wideouts, O-line, even your defensive tackle tandems, your front 7, your corners aren't bad anymore. Your safeties aren't horrible any longer. As a collective group, there's very few weaknesses that are on your football team, except the question mark of quarterback. And again, this is not about Jalen here. This is about the group. This is about the locker room. 7th, with that quarterback being what he is or isn't, says a lot about what they've done in the offseason here. This is pretty impressive. All kidding aside here, this is impressive here. You know what's funny about this conversation here when you talk about how you look at the roster now? You're telling me you have, here, and watch this. Let's even do this more, and let's break this down a tad bit more here. Okay? The teams that are ranked ahead of the Eagles, according to Pro Football Focus, how many teams from the NFC are ranked ahead of them? 2, the Packers and Bucks. So according to Pro Football Focus, I want to double check that. Rams. Yes. The Packers, Rams, and there are 3 teams in the NFC that are ranked ahead of the Eagles. Bucks, Rams, and Packers. Wow. They got you in the Final 4. Remember what I told you about making it to the NFC Championship game? Now I got Hey, Xander. Now I got Pro Football Focus saying you're going to make it to the Final 4. You got the 4th best roster in the NFC. Not according to Sills, but according to a media outlet that a lot of people use to evaluate players and teams. Jeremiah goes, it's July. You know what, Jeremiah? You're right, it's July. If you don't have a team going into July on this day, you don't have a season. It's July. I hope you have all your guys. I hope you have everybody lined up ready to rock and roll, because if you don't on July 5th, you have no chance of success if you're not ready to rock on July 5th. No way. Can't be building rosters during training camp. Michael, appreciate you coming aboard. Eric goes, yes. That's another little caveat in the feather in the side of the Eagles too, Eric. That's pretty good, right? And you got the defending world champions in your conference. They grade Jalen pretty high too. That's where I differ. Rent is due in September. Actually, when you're going to training camp right now, wouldn't you rather be? I'd rather be the Eagles right now than I'd rather be the Dallas Cowboys. I got all my guys. I got everybody ready to go. Every position has been addressed. Safety, corner, edge, more help in the defensive line. You created depth with the center you drafted for years to come. The only battle that you really have in your football team this coming camp is that right guard. The rest of them, it's just going to be creating depth. If Gannon and Hurts do their jobs, going to the NFC Championship game for sure, DeShante says. Cowboys signing Julio. That would be an interesting sign. And does he have anything left in the tank? Susan goes, week 6, Mulata versus Parsons. That's going to be fantastic. Jalen's grade is screwed with Minshew as the backup. He was the 4th-ranked backup quarterback. He's a highly thought of backup. That's one of the reasons that the Colts wanted to give the Eagles a 3rd rounder for Gardner Minshew. They wanted Gardner Minshew if they couldn't pull the trigger on Matt Ryan in Atlanta. They had inquired about it. And that's when the conversation was starting to come up that potentially they could maybe bring Nick Foles back, but then they passed on that, kept Minshew, and that's when that whole deal with Ryan went down. Remember something, Atlanta's got $38 million of dead money now. Daz, worried AB goes to the Cowboys. That'd be the worst mistake of his career, going to the Cowboys. He needs to go to a place that has, to me, places like Denver would be something that he should take a look at, or Baltimore. Because you got leadership at the quarterback position, and the quarterback's not going to take any shit like that. They're just not. Man, that's a pretty good ranking there. The 7th best roster in the National Football League, according to Pro Football Focus. Whew. That's crazy great. It's crazy great. Crazy great. The biggest improvement on the football team has to be the front 7. And again, this is why I am high on the Eagles now. I'm high on the Eagles because it's not what you're doing offensively, because I still don't know what that's going to look like yet. My hype for the team is more what you're doing defensively. And again, we're not talking coaching here, because that wasn't part of the evaluation with Pro Football Focus when they were talking about putting the roster and looking at the best rosters. Biggest mystery on defense is Gannon. Paul, I said this to you before. The 3 things going into the 2022 training camp / NFL season in September is the DC, the head coach, and the quarterback. Those 3 dynamics will not change as we get ready and as we move into that. It just won't. But this is, hey, on July 5th, you're going into camp with one of the best rosters in the game. So, you guys have been talking about 12 wins. You guys have been talking about a successful season this year. Boy, I'm starting to believe you don't win that division crown and you don't get at least into a 2nd-round playoff, it will be a failure season. You can't have one of the better rosters starting a year out and end up not fulfilling what people think that your football team is right now. Because this would go to coaching. Do we not agree? And I'm starting to think this. If I was Howie Roseman and someone came to me and said this, dude, you got one of the best rosters in the league. You got the 4th best roster in the NFC. And my coach shits the bed. I think Jalen Hurts' success has a lot to do with Nick Sirianni's coaching this year. And I think also Nick Sirianni is probably on just as hot a seat as Jalen is. And here's why. Hey, was last year a good year? I guess. Didn't beat anybody real. Didn't beat anybody with a winning record. You beat teams where you're supposed to. And I guess because you came off a 4-11-1 season, you get kudos for that. And you were a rookie coach. You do get kudos for that. You do get kudos. Hey, Urban Meyer failed as a rookie NFL head coach. Nick succeeded in his first year. Okay? I say this to you, though. If you're still trying to develop a very young quarterback, having a coach on training wheels wouldn't have been the angle I would have went on. Eagles have the best coaching staff in Philadelphia. You really think that's a real reach, Rocky? Hey, Rocky. Temple might have the second best. Hey, Temple might have the second best coaching staff in the city. Flex says not worried about Sirianni. You have them dudes ready to play. It's on Hurts to deliver. He could dial it up, all the plays, but if the quarterback doesn't sling it, it just won't matter. It's impossible to succeed. You are right. A bit of life. You are right, Dan. Jalen and Sirianni's fates are both intertwined. I think they are. I think they are because you know why? Let's do this. I know you guys love this. Matt Nagy. That guy's success was intertwined with Mitchell Trubisky, wasn't it? Mitchell Trubisky actually won a division crown, the NFC North, with Aaron Rodgers in it, and they won. And then 2 years later, they were fired and they were dealt. So, I mean, his fate, look at what Rex Ryan's fate was with Mark Sanchez. It's a lot to be. Hey, Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan's fate is going to be tied to Trey Lance. That's why he's not in a hurry to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. That's why he's not in any big-time hurry to go like this. Hey, let's just get rid of it. Yeah, he's like this. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, man. Right? I don't know. Right? So I think they're all intertwined. Dank goes, hey, Dank, I completely agree with you here. I don't think Jalen fits what Nick Sirianni really wants to do on offense. Completely 100%. I think that's why the play calling was sent to Stitchen. I think that's why it was given to him because I don't think Nick and Jalen, I don't think they really understand one another's game. I think Nick is more of a drop back guy, more so than he is RPO guy. And I completely agree with that. Marina, our defense, our depth is unbelievable. Dean and Taylor, backup LBs. Davis and Williams, backup. Oh, no. This is the best that you guys have had, in my opinion, in Philadelphia since your 2017 team when you had the best duo of lines, O and D line. I think one of the reasons why you fell off the map after that 17 Super Bowl is because the defensive side of the football started falling apart. Hurts doesn't fit Sirianni's scheme at all. I think they know that too. Nick said, wait a minute, I thought I was getting a guy who could throw. Hey, you know what though, Jeremiah? For them to win 9 games with a guy who can't throw, it's pretty good. Okay? It's pretty good. Now, to go back to what you guys have been saying in the last couple days about Lamar Jackson, can Jalen improve like Lamar did throwing the ball? I don't know. I don't know. I saw Lamar in college, and I saw him win a Heisman. I saw Jalen, his best time was at Oklahoma, not Alabama. Okay? I mean, I thought he was good. Hey, by the way, help me out. Was CeeDee Lamb at Oklahoma when Jalen was there at Oklahoma? I think that dynamic was there, right? I think CeeDee Lamb was with the Sooners when Jalen was there. CeeDee Lamb's a good football player. All of these bullets with no gun. Bob, CeeDee was there in Oklahoma? Okay. Well, you know, I say this to you too. Mike Evans and Johnny Manziel. who turned out to be the NFL star, right? Hey, Josh Gordon or RG3. Sometimes those receivers in college, you got to target like those guys. Let's not forget something about Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon, I think he led the NFL in receptions one year. That guy was a great football player in Cleveland. He's just a Fruit Loop. I mean, he really is. Rocky, I don't think Jalen's horrendous, but he's got to improve. There's no doubt about it. Did Lamar really improve that much, though? He has thrown for 4,000 yards. Well, he did lead the NFL in touchdown passes with 36. And that year they did win 14 games. They went 14-2. So Dupree, I don't know. That sounds like a pretty good year to me. And remember something, he had 1,200 rushing yards. And and I'll say it to you guys because you guys know that what I think of those rushing yards. But when you lead the NFL in passing touchdowns and run for 1,200 yards, you're never going to see that in your life again by another player. Well, you may, because of the way the NFL is today. You may see that. But 1,200 yards rushing, and you led the NFL in passing touchdowns, that's pretty impressive. Kenneth, see that? Hey, Kenneth says hey, what's the topic? Shit on Jalen? Nobody has said anything negative at all about Jalen. As a matter of fact, Kenneth, Pro Football Focus said you got the 4th best roster a couple days ago in the NFC and the 7th best roster in the NFL. I don't know about you. I don't know how that's crapping on anybody. There's just more heat and more expectations that are on this Eagle team now. Okay? All right. I have another list here. The 5 most improved teams this offseason. The 5 most improved football teams. Please hit the like button. We'll get to those here in a second. Hey, Dan Sileo here from Morgan & Morgan, where the fee is free. Means this, they don't get paid unless you get your fair compensation for your family. If you're hurt or injured on the job, knowing that you have the biggest attorney firm in the country to go to war and go to battle for you is one of the most important things that you can do. For the people, it's not a slogan. This is who they are. This is what they do. With over 800 attorneys in offices in Philly, New York, and in Florida, Morgan & Morgan is there to do battle for you when you get into a courtroom, making sure your family gets the fair compensation. The call is free. The consultation is free. 800-512-1600. That's 800-512-1600. Open 24/7, 7 days a week. 800-512-1600. When you call Morgan & Morgan, tell them Big Sil sent you.
When choosing a lawyer for your injury case, you may ask, does the size of the law firm matter? Well, of course it does. The insurance company, they're huge with unlimited resources. And whether your case is big or small, they're built to bully you out of the money you're owed. But here's the good news. We're big too, the biggest actually. And we're built to fight to make them pay for all that was taken from you. Size is our strength. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Many times when people are injured at a place of business, they don't realize they may have a case. The fact is, injuries should not happen. And most of the time when someone is injured, someone is at fault. Maybe the store manager installed a cheap, slippery floor, or there wasn't proper security. After an injury at a hotel, restaurant, store, or any place of business, it's so important to call us. Time matters, size matters. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
game on a Roku, Fire Stick, Android TV, or Apple TV? Now you can watch 6ABC 24/7 with the 6ABC Philadelphia streaming app.
The big story on Action.
Search 6ABC Philadelphia and start streaming today.
All right, did you know I was the mommy slam dunk champion?
Really?
Yes, really, don't sound so surprised.
Let's see it.
Oh, you're ready. All right, here we go. Let's hear the crowd. So go to right, I go to left. Fake them out. Mama, go up, up, up.
She did it.
Again?
You can't avoid gravity, but United Healthcare can help you avoid financial surprises by helping you compare costs and doctor quality ratings. United Healthcare.
Uh-huh.
Go for the poles and the pools. Go for the oohs and the ahs. Go for the bubbles and the bubbly. Go for the story and the stories. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on three. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Welcome back, National Football Show. Hopefully everybody had a great 4th of July. Thank you for stepping in. Please hit the like button. And who said that Lamar Jackson is a great talent, but he's not the greatest thrower? That's a great take because you're right. You're right. His athleticism creates those passing lanes. His ability to move around in the pocket. He's smart because he knows he's not the greatest thrower of the football. He's got a cannon for an arm, but doesn't necessarily have the Aaron Rodgers accuracy that you're looking for in an elite guy. Okay? So that's fair. He led the NFL in passing touchdowns. Tremendous accomplishment. And having 1,200 yards rushing that year. Unbelievable. Dual threat guy like that. And a superior talent, too, to boot. But he does create those passing lanes by moving around a lot in the pocket. I would like to see him do more of this. Instead of taking off vertically, I'd like to see him move more around in the pocket horizontally. And just move around, creating more passing lanes. Staying inside the pocket. That's something I would think John Harbaugh even wants him to do. Jeremiah says that Lamar throws the ball better than Hurts. Not by far, but he does. He's a better quarterback. He is continuing to get better and better and better every single season. And I really like what his progress, but what stops his progress for him seeing those moves like a Josh Allen improvement? Injuries. Gets banged up. What happens? He's out 3-4 weeks. You can't improve that way in the NFL. You've got to constantly be on the field to improve. That 19 Ravens team was damn good. Yeah, I think Mark Ingram also had 1,000 yards rushing, if I'm not mistaken, Daz. That team was awful good, man. Okay? They did things better than Jalen coming out of college. He's a better football player. Okay? Hey, Mike's right. Tavern Mike, when Lamar Jackson's on the field, the Ravens are almost impossible to beat. He's exactly correct. See, and guys, when Jalen's on the field, I don't feel that way. I feel if I put the ball in his hands, they can't beat me. I think Lamar having the ball in his hands and he's on the field, he can beat me. He can beat me multiple ways. He gets banged up and he can't run. He could throw the ball. Not with the efficiency of, say, a Justin Herbert, but that guy, when he's on the field, that guy strikes fear in people and in defensive coordinators when he's playing. I mean, Lamar, yeah, he's electric, man. Kyler Murray is not close, in my opinion, to Lamar Jackson. Yeah, and that's right. Dank. I mean, Josh Allen has traits and moves around and throws the ball. And it's an unfair comparison to throw Jalen into that conversation when you're talking about a guy like him or Lamar Jackson. These guys are different dudes, man. They're like unicorns. Deshaun Watson, better than Lamar Jackson? Whew. Man, if I had to build my team with Deshaun Watson or, barring the sidebar crap, Deshaun Watson or Lamar Jackson, man, probably Deshaun. Probably Deshaun. I would probably go with Watson because he's more of the pure passer. You know, he doesn't have to take off to win ball games. He wins ball games, and he puts up those gigantic numbers throwing the pill. Yeah, he's just an amazing thrower of the football. All right, please hit the like button, guys. I'm going to give you my 5 best teams that have improved themselves this offseason. And I'm going to go from 5 to 1. These are the football teams that I think have done the most to improve their positioning going into training camp in 3 weeks. 3 weeks away. 3 weeks. 3 weeks away. Mahomes or Lamar? Mahomes all night. Mahomes all night. All night. What do you think is what people want more from Jalen this year? Wins, TDs, or yes? I think or yes. I think they want to see it all. I think they want to see him improve. They want to see those numbers improve. And I think they want to see wins against teams that matter. The Rams, the Bucks, the Packers. I'll tell you this. Can I tell you this? In week 12, if Jalen Hurts beats Aaron Rodgers, now we're going to start talking a whole different conversation if he beats that guy then. Here, I'm going to make this to you. If Jalen Hurts beats Kirk Cousins, if he beats Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray, Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, Aaron Rodgers, and he has a winning record versus those guys, and your football team's between 11 and 12 wins, and you win a division, we're talking something of improvement here. What you can't have is this. He crushes the Lions. They get beat and upset by the Vikings. They drop one of these Washington games. Then he turns around. He beats the Jags. Then he loses to Kyler and Dak. You're 3-3 at the bye. You beat the Steelers because they're a headless horseman. You beat the Texans. And you win against Washington at the Link in Week 10. You lose to the Packers. You lose to the Titans. Then you beat the Giants, the Bears. You lose to the Cowboys and Dak again. Then you beat the Saints and the Giants. That's not going to cut it. That's not going to cut it. You got to beat those teams with them big-time signal callers. That was one of the big criticisms I always thought of Lamar Jackson. Lamar had all these great wins, but he couldn't beat Patrick Mahomes. He finally did it last year. Jones, hey, there's going to be 10-6 is underachieving. Now, 10-6 winning the division, you get out of the opening round and you end up making yourself viable for an NFC championship seat. Who cares if you're 10-6? Get to the postseason and beat one of these teams. Get to the postseason. 3-3, do we start Minshew? No. I'm not doing a knee-jerk reaction on that. I'm not starting Gardner Minshew unless Jalen Hurts gets injured. I am not. You're going to run through the tape with this kid. I'm completely in on that. I'm not going to get to week 7, and if week 7 we're sitting here at the bye and you're 3-3, I am not pulling him. I am not walking back, starting over again in the middle of the freaking season. Absolutely not. We're going to run through this damn tape here. If we can't beat Dallas, we're going nowhere. Correct. I will never do that. Support your quarterback, win or lose. I support the team. That's the difference between you and I, Spa. There's 52 other guys on that roster. It's not about the quarterback. It's about everybody in the locker room. One man is not bigger than that team. I don't give a shit who he is. It's about winning football games. That's why sometimes when you get pulled in games and you're sitting on the sidelines there and the coach puts a guy that's better than, or maybe not even better than you, but he puts him in just to see what's up. How many times, and human nature is, well, I hope that guy fails. No, you can't have that attitude. That was Carson Wentz's attitude. Well, I hope Jalen shits the bed. Great. Exactly what people thought you were. Same thing with Baker Mayfield. You don't think Baker Mayfield right now is chuckling at the Browns and laughing publicly about what's going on with Deshaun Watson? That's not a guy I want on my team. I want you to shut your hole. Go away. Go away. Okay? The AFC is so stacked, we're going to have a team in the Super Bowl that will be unexpected. Sonia, the NFC team won the Super Bowl last year. Rams won it. Seals, the Eagles need to beat those teams because of Bob, completely agree. Bob, I'll tell you what. Like I said, if you beat Cousins, you split with Carson, you beat Kyler, and you beat Dak, and you split with Dak, that's going to go a country mile on the decision on whether or not Jalen Hurts is the future or not. You'll know by week 7 if he beat – by the way, even Jared Goff in some aspects. Jared Goff won an NFC championship. If Jared Goff, you beat him convincingly in that Lions team, and you have a better performance and you outplay him, I'm going to go like this. Well, Jared Goff is the number 1 overall pick at one time. Then he turns around and beats a guy who's thrown for 4,000 yards a boatload of times. You hear me crowing for him. And Kirk Cousins, you beat Wentz. You beat Trevor Lawrence. You take out, hey, the Cards are in a conversation right now with Kyler Murray for $200 million. Then you take out the $42 million a year guy in Dak. I mean, you're going to know right there. You limp in and you barely beat the Lions and you drop it to the Cousins. Then you turn around and you lose to, at FedEx, you lose to Wentz. You beat Lawrence. Then you drop one in Glendale to Kyler. Then you drop one at the Link to the Cowboys. You're going to have question marks. You're going to have question marks. Spa says, Sills, you need to get my boy Philly Mike on here. I'll tell you what, man, I leave that up to Xander. As a matter of fact, I love the YouTube guys. I actually like the YouTube guys more than I do like the mainstream media guys. Because you know why? You guys bring something to the table. Those other guys think they bring their takes, and most of them, they suck. Okay? Most of them suck. I actually like people that bring people. Okay. Xander goes like this. This is who we've been talking about. All right, we'll make that happen. Philly Mike is GTG. Okay, well then what we'll do is we'll set it up through Xander. We'll get him on. I like these YouTube guys. Always bring something to the table. Every time I put a stupid like media guy that's a .com nobody guy, bring nothing to the table, and quite frankly, whatever. Yeah. Right? All right. Here are my 5 most improved football teams this offseason. You're going to be shocked. Number 5, the Steelers. I think the Steelers have added some pretty good pieces to the team. Drafting, and I'm not saying that they're going to be contenders in the AFC, but they're not going to be an easy pushover team. I don't think they're going to be that easy of a team to push over here. Number 4, I actually think the New York Jets and Joe Douglas has done a really good job at putting that roster together. We're 3 weeks out from training camp. I actually like the Jets roster. I hate their coach, but I like the roster. They need a different coach in there. They need to overhaul the entire coaching staff. Just bring somebody in there that knows what he's doing. Get an offensive-minded guy in there for Zach Wilson. You got a defensive-minded coach with a quarterback you took in the first round last year. I mean, that doesn't even plug in right. What could he possibly learn from Robert Saleh? What could he learn? I think the Jets are doing a nice job. Number 3, the Chargers. I think the Chargers, I mean it, the secondary, Khalil Mack. You got Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa now as your pass rushers. 2 completely different styles of how they get to the quarterback is utterly amazing. It's utterly amazing. And I really like what Tom Telesco is doing with that roster. I think the Chargers are the 3rd best improved team this offseason here. Number 2, I got the Bengals. I think the Bengals addressed every single deficiency that they had on their football team this offseason, and that was clearly in the offensive line. Man, they needed to change out every single one of those guys, and they almost did. The Bengals right now are in a position where they're no longer the Bungles. And it's because of Joe Burrow. I'll say this one more time to you guys, though. The problem with the Bengals is this. When all these guys' contracts come up, is Mike Brown going to pay T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, Mixon? Is he really gonna pay and spend the money, which he traditionally never has? Is he gonna do that? You know he's not gonna do that. Folks, we are 3 weeks out from training camp. And I think the excitement level is starting to really pick up. I can feel it today. Xander, right? I don't know about the other show, but I can feel it here that we're 3 weeks out. You guys know it's time. If you don't have your team put together today, you have no shot of winning. No shot. The number one most improved football team this offseason is the Philadelphia Eagles. So, Pro Football Focus says you have the 7th best roster on July 5th. The 7th best. I say you're the number one most improved team. This comes down, unfortunately, to the quarterback. I hate how this funnels back into Jalen. It really does, though. Well, it funnels into Jalen and into the head coach. Okay? It funnels, right? Head coach Jalen. God, they're so tied together. What above all? I don't know if it's huge money. For running backs, maybe. Rocky goes to Steagles, trying to throw some love there back in the old day, right? During the war, they called them the Steagles. The Eagles and the Steelers combined their football teams back in the day because of World War II. I know Steagles' brother. Pro Football Focus has the Browns with 6th best roster in the NFL. With Deshaun Watson on that team? Absolutely. I don't have a problem with that. Seals, do you think TVD can do for Philly what Burrow? Yes, I do. Oh, I got to tell you a story. I did some recruiting. Sorry, Xander. We landed the number one offensive lineman in college football over the weekend. And Big Sills and The Rock had something to do with it. I got a story for you at the top. Okay? I have a story for you at the top. Let's see here, man, if I still have that email from The Rock. I'll tell you the story. This kid signs with Miami. He was either going to go to Tennessee or he was going to go to UM. And I'll tell you here in a second here. I think everybody will sing a different tune once they get on the field. Sills, hair looks frozen. Look like a rock star. Story time. That's top of the hour, my friend. Got to keep Tyler clean in the pocket. Well, you got to keep Joe Burrow and Tom Brady clean in the pocket. Right? You got to keep them guys clean in the pocket. Manser says Jalen makes or breaks this season. That's simple. Yes. But I think our biggest issue is we don't know what that looks like. You know what I mean? Hey, don't forget Gary Cobb, hour 2, 4:30 Eastern time. Fox 29's own Gary Cobb will talk to our friend as we do each and every single beginning of the week. And we will do that. That'll be at 4:30 Eastern time. Line of the show. I look like a rock star. Hit the like button, guys. Hey, Bob, thank you. Spa City goes, hey, Jim Rome is burning. Hey, we're working some things out. It's all good. It's all good. Big Seals is still in line for that, but we got to work some things out. It's all good. No Jimmy Johnson stories. No, you know what? I didn't think about that. We probably should have brought Jimmy into the recruiting of the kid. Cobb's still running through airport. No, he's good. You know he's good. All right. Hit the like button. Hour number 2. Story time plus I wrote down my top 10 quarterbacks. I did. Dude, we're 3 weeks out. 3 weeks out from the start of training camp. And, dude, the content's just going to start getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We appreciate everybody. Please hit that like button. Hour 2, catch you on the other side. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
Stream on a Roku, Fire Stick, Android TV, or Apple TV? Now you can watch 6ABC 24/7 with the 6ABC Philadelphia streaming app.
The big story on Action News.
Search 6ABC Philadelphia and start streaming today.
All right, did you know I was the mommy slam dunk champion?
Really?
Yes, really, don't sound so surprised.
Let's see it.
Oh, you're ready. All right, here we go. Let's hear the crowd. So go to right, I go to left, fake 'em out. Mama, go up, mama!
She did it.
Again?
You can't avoid gravity, but United Healthcare can help you avoid financial surprises by helping you compare costs and doctor quality ratings. United Healthcare.
Uh-huh.
Go for the pulls and the pools. Go for the oohs and the ahs. Go for the bubbles and the bubbly. Go for the story and the stories. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Hour 2, Big Skills National Football Show. 3 weeks of training camp for your Eagles. And July 27th, multiple teams will be reporting. I think the Buccaneers go on the 27th of July, too. So we appreciate everybody coming aboard. Please hit the like button. Gary Cobb, bottom of the hour from Fox 29 Philadelphia, will get his spin as we're just a couple weeks out from training camp. A couple things before I get into some of the topics that we tease coming into this break here. I'm hearing that the University of Miami, Clemson, and Florida State are going to be offered acceptance into the Southeastern Conference. As we're now seeing power conferences, you're seeing what's going to happen now with the Pac-12. The Pac-12 and the Big 12 are talking merging for better reasons just to keep that thing alive and afloat. Because look at what the Big 12 did. They lost Texas and OU. Pac-12 lost UCLA and USC. Devastating. But if you can combine those programs, you could probably save that super conference and then admit teams like maybe San Diego State or BYU. So we're now getting a really good sense, okay, Okay? We're getting a good sense now. Get this, guys. It's going to be SEC. It's going to be Big Ten. It's going to be of some version of Pac-12 and Big 12. I don't know where the ACC fits in that. I don't know where they fit. Okay? Fine and fabulous basketball conference. But can I tell you what? Xander, you'll agree with this. Watch this. Do you know why I think the University of Miami has walked backwards, as well as Florida State has walked backwards over the years? No kid from the southern part of the United States of America wants to play against NC State and Duke and Wake Forest in football. I don't. Give me here are the bottom feeders in the SEC. Vanderbilt, Kentucky, South Carolina. How come that sounds 7 times better in football than Wake Forest, NC State, and Duke? No disrespect to those programs, but 4- and 5-star kids want to have a schedule like this. You know what they want to play? They want to play Florida, Tennessee, Georgia, A&M, LSU. And what you're going to get is a better brand of football when we start getting all these super conferences together. You don't have to go undefeated to win the national championship. You could be a Tula. Dude, if you play in the Southeastern Conference, if Miami, Clemson, and FSU join along with Texas and OU with that great group of teams that they have in there now, shit, if you lost 2 games, it'd be expected. And you'd still be the best team in the country. I've always thought college football's biggest mistake was this. Just because you go undefeated, that doesn't entitle you to a national championship seat at the table. You could play 50 tomato cans. How many times every year do we see somebody that has a great record? You look at their schedule, and that even includes sometimes Ohio State. Who in the Big Ten do you think is a really great football team outside of Ohio State? Penn State hasn't been the last 2 years. Give me one team outside of Michigan and Ohio State. Wisconsin, I guess. Iowa, I guess. Okay? What team in the Big Ten do you go, hey, man, I'll tell you, that Indiana team, 2 years ago, they were decent. Ohio State runs that thing. There's really no other team in the Big Ten. Penn State, I think James Franklin's overrated. Ohio State and Clemson recruit like Southeastern Conference teams. Now, Notre Dame is the outlier here. What happens with Notre Dame? Do they go to the Big Ten or do they save the ACC? What do they do? Because if Notre Dame goes to the Big Ten, they'll get killed. They'll get killed. They'll be like Stanford in the Big Ten. Notre Dame can't hang because of their admissions and their acceptance rates. Hey, no disrespect. And by the way, Alabama's a great school. Why do you think it's 80% acceptance? They work with the football program. They don't accept everybody into Alabama. But Alabama has that set up so that if they needed a kid who doesn't really have the greatest grades or SATs or ACTs, they could get him in with no bitching about it. You can't do that at Notre Dame. You can't do that at Stanford. That's why you see seesaw years sometimes with those programs. Am I right when I say this? Notre Dame plays like Bowling Green now. Bowling Green on the Notre Dame schedule. That's so awful. Bowling Green on a Notre Dame schedule. Michigan State, Penn State. Michigan State just had a good year for the first time in 10? Penn State, the last 2 years, has been a train wreck. Ohio State, it's a great school. It's a great school. So we're seeing all that play itself out. I'm going to get to my my NFL stuff here in a minute, but I got to tell you this quick story with The Rock. Francis McGowan. Sorry, Xander. But Alabama lost out on the number 5 recruit, I think, in the country. And he's the number 1 O-lineman in the United States. It was between Tennessee and UM at the very end. So Mario Cristobal, I'll tell you the story. Mario Cristobal texts me, and he goes like this: Sills, please tweet this out. Get The Rock to tweet it out. Get The Rock to tweet it out. Get The Rock to tweet it out. We got to get this kid. So I tweet The Rock. I sent him a text message too. Hey, we need this kid. Francis McGowan, you talked to the grandfather like 3 weeks ago at your camp in Hawaii. He goes, yeah, I did. Tweet it out, please. He's going to sign with UM. Sure enough, this morning, he goes, congratulations, Francis. He's 6'6", like 315 pounds. It's the biggest recruit we've had at Miami in the O-line in a long time. Mario went from 30th in recruiting to number 9 in the last 2 weeks. In the last 2 weeks, he's gone from 30th to 9th. So The Rock's like, and I got an email from Jennifer's folks. Rock is all swapped up. He's trying to come on the show. He's doing stuff, but we're going to get him on the show. But yeah, he's like, I tweeted it. All right. And I go, dude, you're the biggest face of the of our program right now. You're the biggest movie star in Hollywood. You gotta help these guys. So Mario goes like this: do you want me on today? Sorry, Xander, not today. We're gonna a little bit later on. I was like, no, not today. Not today. I don't want to do it today. And so Mario's like, yeah, okay. And hey, I go, we're here for you. Hey, look, if Colin Cowherd can help recruit USC, Big Sills can help recruit, okay, University of Miami. Bob says ND has their NBC contract. That's why they don't do it, Bob. Hey, Bob, Notre Dame is paid by NBC $38 million a year. Why would they leave? Sonia, Big Ten academics. That's why they don't really. Hey, and Sonia, I'll give you guys a little bit of Notre Dame. I'll give you guys a little bit of Notre Dame history. Why do you think Notre Dame never drops Michigan State from their schedule? Do you guys know the story? Do you guys know the story why they don't? They'll drop Michigan, but they'll never drop Michigan State. They've never dropped to Michigan State. Back in the beginning, Notre Dame wanted admittance. They wanted to have admittance to the Big Ten. And Notre Dame wanted in so bad. Michigan did not want them in. They did not want that Catholic school in. And they used to do everything in their power to make sure that Notre Dame never became a Big Ten member. And they held that against them. The reason that they play Army-Navy every year is because during the war, there were thoughts of closing Notre Dame up. There were thoughts of closing ND up because they didn't have the money. So you know what Notre Dame did? They used Notre Dame football field to house some of the Army equipment, and what kept Notre Dame afloat were those gigantic games at Yankee Stadium between Notre Dame and Army and Navy. And they never forgot that, and they kept those 3 teams on their schedule forever. Army, Navy, and Michigan State they'll never leave the Notre Dame schedule. Never. They're very loyal to those 3 programs. He did live in Pennsylvania. I got a couple pictures of him in high school there. So they got Army Navy players. No, Dank, they Army Navy made sure that they kept them on their schedule. Because if you remember right, when you go back and look at the history of college football, Army Navy during the war years, especially the Second War, they were a football power. obviously because all the players that went there and went to West Point and went to Annapolis, okay, they were powerhouses. And they kept Notre Dame on the schedule. As soon as you smell what the Rockets cooking, they were the Alabama of their day. Okay? They were the Alabama. All right. Let me get into this here. And then I'm going to ask you a question about your Eagle quarterback. I wrote down my 10 best quarterbacks in the NFL. Okay? I got Lamar Jackson at 10. I got Derek Carr at 9. I got Justin Herbert at 8. Matthew Stafford, Rams at 7. Russell Wilson, Broncos at 6. I got Joe Burrow, Bengals at 5. I got Tom Brady, 4, Buccaneers. 3, I got Patrick Mahomes, Chiefs. 2, Aaron Rodgers, Packers. And number 1, Josh Allen. My 10 quarterbacks, again, Lamar, Derek Carr from 10 to 1. Lamar, Derek Carr, Justin Herbert, Matthew Stafford, Russell Wilson, Joe Burrow, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen. Do you think of these 10 guys? Would you put money that one of these 10 guys win the Super Bowl this year? Do the Bills have a shot to win the Super Bowl? Yes. This is an interesting one. Do you think the Packers have a chance to win the Super Bowl this year? I think they're better defensively. You think the Packers have a shot to win the Super Bowl? I think so. You think Patrick Mahomes has a shot? Yeah. You think that Tom Brady does? Yeah. You think Joe Burrow does? Well, he was in it last year. Here's one. Russell Wilson coming off an injured year. You think the Broncos have a shot at winning the Super Bowl this year? You think Russell Wilson has a shot at winning the Super Bowl this year in Denver? I know, Michael, but guess what, Michael? The wide receivers are weak. They've never drafted. Do you know in the last 40 years, they've drafted only 2 wide receivers in the first round? It's not like they don't develop wideouts up there. Sydney, yes. Maybe. You don't think Russell Wilson has a shot? You think? I think Russell Wilson has a shot. Stafford won it last year. How about this one? You think Justin Herbert and the Chargers have a shot to win it? I think so. Derek Carr and the Raiders? I'm going to push that one. Lamar Jackson. I'm going to push this. So 8 of the 10. Have a shot to win the Super Bowl. Where would you rank Jalen Hurts in the NFL hierarchy in quarterbacks? Where would you rank him? And does he have a shot to win the Super Bowl this year? 10 to 12? You think Jalen Hurts is the 10th best quarterback in the league? Let me take a look at this. Ranking the 32 best quarterbacks, 2022. I got it on a list here. Here we go. I got it on a list here. So do you think, hey, how about, do you think Jalen is better than Dak Prescott? You think Jalen's better than Dak? Jones goes, Sills is setting y'all up again. Hang on here. Booza says no. I agree. He's not better than Dak. Okay. You think he's better than Kyler Murray? Nope. Let's see where you think this guy ranks. You think he's better than Kirk Cousins? No. Do you think he's better than Ryan Tannehill? We're going to find that out real soon. Because let's see if A.J. Brown's numbers go up. Delaware says yes. Delaware. So you're saying A.J. Brown's numbers are going to go up because of Jalen Hurts quarterbacking and throwing the ball to him. Jones, you think that too? You personally think that his numbers are going to go up because of Jalen and Philly versus the number one seed of a year ago in Tennessee. Tennessee won the top seed going into the playoffs last year. And you think his numbers are going to improve? Like I told you last week, A.J. Brown averages 68 catches, 998, and 8 touchdowns a year in his 3 years in Tennessee. And you guys think he's going to improve those numbers? Here. You think that? Do you think that, hey, do you think that Jalen's better than Jared Goff? You think he's better than Jared Goff? That's a push. So you're pushing with Jared Goff. You're not better than Jimmy G. So I've got 5 quarterbacks now. That puts us outside the top 15. I don't have a problem putting Jalen 16th. Yeah, Delaware. Golf won an NFC. Guy won an NFC championship. And if I'm not mistaken, lost the Super Bowl 14-7 to the Patriots. Hey, Big William, like I said last week, who's your boy beat? Ryan's better. He is better. Garoppolo's better. Maniac goes, Jimmy G's not better. Oh, okay. You're falling in his trap. Kenneth, you're always looking at things to be so negative. Damn it, Sills. I've been typing 16 like 10 times. Oh, good. Okay, good. I give it to you. Good. Kurt is better. Hey. Oh my God, that's right. I forgot. Deshaun Watson. He's not better than Deshaun Watson. So he's like 17th. 16 or 17. Jalen. That's okay. 16 or 17. No. Hey, Dro, I don't think it's an insult either. I don't think it's an insult. And he can improve that. But again, hey, watch this. He may have a better year than Dak Prescott. He may have a better year than Garoppolo and Cousins. It's going to be easier for him with the talent around him, according to what Pro Football Focus said. You guys have the 7th best roster. There's going to be a great chance for Jalen Hurts. Hell, how about this? Do we agree? If Jalen Hurts ends up to be like the best quarterback or the 10th or 11th best quarterback in the league, it's a successful season for the Eagles and they're in the NFC Championship game. Right? Somewhere in there, that's not an insult. Sills, your comparisons. See, Kenneth goes like this. Sills, your comparisons are the past. No, the comparisons are what they've done and who they are today. You're the one that's rubbing the magic lamp, talking to me about potential this and that. Okay? All right. We are 3 weeks out from training camp. 3 weeks today to July 26th. Let's bring my friend from Fox 29, Gary Cobb, in here, man. Gary Cobb, 3 weeks out from training camp. You were doing what, and what were you getting ready for? What was your biggest concern as you were getting ready to go to training camp?
Well, I tell you, when Buddy was here, it was those doggone up-downs. Oh, man. He destroyed everybody with those up-downs because, you know, at the end of practice, you had to go down. He make you do about 60 of them. Make everybody do them. But if you weren't doing yours properly, then you had to run and you know, you just had problems. You were going to have to do them every day, you know. So those up-downs, I worked on those up-downs, so I made sure that I wasn't going to have any problem doing those up-downs after practice. So that was it with Buddy. You know, well, you know Jimmy, man, he liked to run.
Oh, those 16 110s. Hey, let me tell you, Gary, at Miami and in the NFL, when I got with Jimmy, I was like this. I think I made those things one time in 5 years with him. And I'm because just so people know, you got to run 110 yards. And big dudes like me had to do it in 19 seconds. And I think we got like 40-second breaks in between.
Yeah.
And guys like Gary had to run it, I think, in 17 because he was a linebacker.
Yeah.
So, hey, I remember, hey, Gary, you may have been there when that guy got thrown off the field when he had that asthma attack. And that guy goes like this, asthma? What do you mean asthma?
Yeah.
Asthma field's over there.
That's right.
I was like, great. That's on the other side of the fence.
Hey, crazy. Yeah, well, you know, that was the time where, you know, Jimmy believed in, you know, you being in shape. And really, Buddy was like that. We used to have to run in college, man. But those up-downs, I did not. Because I saw guys had to do up-downs all training camp. Every practice, they got to do up. They were done, man. They had no chance of making it. So
that's old school shit, Gary. Those
that's old school.
He got that
man.
from the Bears, didn't he? From the old Bear guys.
Yeah. Okay, I'm on the air.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I love it. Gary, so today I put this list out here from Pro Football Focus. And a couple days ago, they ranked the top 32 rosters in the NFL. Pro Football Focus, which is becoming kind of like a place where a lot of media people go to get some of their intel because they evaluate quarterbacks, this and that. You and I know you can take.
And they do a pretty good job of it. I think they're pretty close to legit, because most of the time I look at it, I say, yeah, I would probably put that team right there too. So
how about this though,
all the numbers? Yeah.
They got the Eagles as the 7th best roster in the NFL and the 4th best in the NFC. You think they're right?
I think they're very close. But, the thing is, you still got that QB, man. That everything the QB is worth more than everything else on that roster. You know what? Like, I was just hearing them talking about, I heard the guys talking about Jalen as a competitor, that he might be the most competitive quarterback in the NFL. And in certain ways, I would agree. He's tough, but when you talk about pinpoint accuracy, reading that defense, all that stuff, come on. Tom, you got, Aaron, you got Tom Brady. Those guys, like Tom, game's on the line. Every throw is like on the money, man.
Yeah, but Gary, every time I hear people talk to me about Jalen, it's like he's a competitor and he works hard. And I'm like,
yeah,
I just want to hear he's accurate and he could throw the deep ball.
Yeah, come on.
I don't care about that other stuff, man.
Yeah, because at the quarterback position, competitive is important, but it's not as important as that arm, reading what's there and then getting rid of that ball and putting it on the money. At the quarterback position, it's not the same as if you're playing linebacker, where you got a guy, is playing hard, and he's got to be on the money and everything. And so that's why I think it's exciting, man. I think it's going to be fun. And from what I've gathered about him, I think he's going to I think he thrives out of that competitiveness. I think that's going to help him. So everybody's waiting to see it, man. I can't wait till they get started. I'm going to be out there checking out that training camp, man, seeing what these guys are doing, man.
I can't wait either. Do you think that Sirianni is tied to Jalen's success for him to be the long-time answer here as head coach?
Yeah, I would say so, probably, but it's not a definite, because if Jalen were not to, pass the test this year, they're going to draft another first-round quarterback, and then he's tied to him. So I don't think, because, Nick is just starting, I think that he has time to really work with another quarterback if that were to happen. So it depends on, how this thing goes this year. But I think Nick probably, the bottom line is Nick is not on the clock as much this year, where, hey, it's on the line. It's on the line for Jalen this year. It's on the line, because you're looking at a $40 million or, $30 to $40 million contract. Are they going to give that to him? He's got to shine, So Jalen is got the clock. He's on the clock. Not as much as Nick. Nick has got, if he were to have a bad year, then he'd be on that clock next year.
But Gary, when I look at the ability of Hurts,
yeah,
I don't see 40 million.
Well,
I mean, when I look at Justin Herbert, I see 40 million. When I look at Josh Allen, I see 40 million.
Yeah.
Like, hey, how about this? When I see Dak, I don't see 40 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. But if that's the case for for Dak,
yeah,
I surely don't see 40 million. And I'm wondering, look, you've got these games against these quarterbacks. You're going to have Jared Goff in the opener. He did win an NFC championship. You're going to get Kirk Cousins, whatever you think about him, with all the 4,000 passing yard seasons. He's got 6 of them in 10 years.
Yeah.
Then you got the 2 games against Washington and Carson Wentz. Then you got Trevor Lawrence. Then you got Kyler Murray. Then you got Dak before you head into the bye. You got to beat, if you're going to be a $40 million a year guy, Gary, you got to beat Dak. You got to beat Kyler Murray. He's in line for $200 million in Arizona. You've got to beat those guys. And then you got the Packers in week 12, right?
That's right.
You've got to, you can't go through a season like you did a year ago, beating teams and good quarterbacks to be considered a $40 million a year guy. Am I right?
I would agree. He's that's why it's such an important year, because he has to shine. And I think if there's ifs and then hey, he doesn't get the money, man. He's not gonna get that kind of money. I mean, they're not gonna make that kind of commitment to him if he doesn't shine, where it's quarterback shine, meaning like you make, 10 great throws on a drive and boom, you take them down and you throw for 400 yards and, all that type of stuff. Those are the type of things, because he's got weapons around him that would justify doing that kind of thing if you're a big time quarterback. So I think there's so much on the line for him, man. He is definitely in a position, because when they went out and got A.J. Brown and, everything else they've added, there are no reasons you could give an excuse. You got a great offensive line, great running game. You got great receivers throwing the ball to. You got to show us. We don't want to see 40-point games where, boom, you just jump on people, blow them out, man. Or
Gary,
if you're playing against a real good team, you score right along with them.
Gary, do you think that Jalen and the Eagles would be open to this? A shorter-term deal of 3 years at $30 million per.
Yeah.
And if you say the team wins the division, they get a playoff win. You see improvement. They offer him a 3-year contract, a team-friendly contract at 30, with opportunities to renegotiate the contract after the 3rd year, because if he's improved enough, it gives the team lateral movement when it comes to filling other needs on the team.
Yeah.
They're not breaking the bank at $45 million. We always see when you have a $45 million a year quarterback, you most likely can't keep a $25 million a year wide receiver.
That's right.
That makes A.J. Brown more likely to stay with the team instead of giving Jalen the 45. You think everybody would be open to that kind of conversation and dialogue?
I think that Jalen would, because he seems like such a level-headed kid. I think he would be open. And what you just said there would be the thing to keep him here. See, because, is he going to have that explosive year where you're talking about 40 million? Now that's a stretch, but to where he improves and you still want to see a little more, but you love the fact that he's with these guys. They're close. Everybody's getting better. You don't want to break that thing.
And you don't want to start over.
That's right. You don't want to start over. And so you go ahead, if you could work out that kind of deal. I mean, look at Tom. Tom's taking less. You win.
He took less in New England. How many decades did he take haircuts up there in New England?
That's right. But he got the rings. He's got the rings. Everybody else, and then ultimately, if you get the rings, you get the money. We know that. Ultimately, you're going to get all the money anyway. And so that's the kind of thing that I could see them doing, because I think he's a level-headed kid to where he's not the prime where he's going to be letting his agent tell him what he's going to do. And wait a minute. You go in there and you work out that deal. Give me 25 to 30 million. I mean, if you're making 25 to 30 million, you sleep good at night. Come on.
Right now he's making $1.1 million.
Yeah.
And you go to the Eagles, and again, now you have 2 first-round draft choices next year.
Woo,
wow. And say you see 3,700 passing yards, 23 touchdowns. It's not quite the improvement that you're hoping for with the 17th game. You'd like to see him hit the 4,000 mark.
Yeah.
But if you see enough to go like this, I don't want to rip this thing apart here, man. I mean, Jalen, and I hope you don't want to go somewhere else, because you're not going to get $45 million on the open market.
That's right.
For a 3,700-yard passing season and 22 touchdowns.
I mean, the thing is, he's most valuable here.
Yes.
He's not more valuable
like Dak was most valuable in Dallas and nowhere else.
That's right. So the thing that he would want to do is, what you're saying would be a message to his agent. If he has some sense, he will start talking that way right now, because really, if he's doing it behind the scenes, because now if he were to go to explode, which I don't see that. I see him making incremental steps. And so the next incremental step would be 3,700. It would be where he's showing sparks. And there are times when he has very good games, but he's not doing it all the time.
these are reasonable steps here. Instead of doing this, Gary, well, shit, man, it's all on the line. 42, 4,200 yards, 35 touch. Man, to go from 31, 100 yards passing, then 16 passing touchdowns to hit 35, man, you're asking this guy to do things that are not capable. And I kind of told the folks here, I go, Ryan Tannehill in Tennessee, Gary, with having A.J. Brown there, he only averaged 68 catches and 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns a year. You're expecting Jalen to turn this guy into a 1,300-yard guy where he's never been that guy. And you're asking so much to go like this to the kid. I bet you he probably accepts it. He probably loves the challenge and all. But realistically, these are not steps that are really realistic.
Well, I'll tell you, just, from my perspective, if he tries to go for that, I see him pushing the ball too much, turning the ball over. You don't want that. You want him where he's taking care of the ball. Now, that's one thing he has done. That's why they made the playoffs. Take care of the football, because you want to win. But if he starts pushing it, trying, taking chances where he's letting the ball go and he's not sure, and he's turning that ball over, then you wind up somewhere next year on somebody's bench. You don't want to do that. You want to keep the mindset where he's thinking about winning. Now, I will give him that. That's what he was thinking last year. He's trying. We need to win. I don't care how we win. We need to win. So you take care of the ball. You have incremental steps where you get up to 3,700. Let's say you throw 23 touchdowns. You throw 7 interceptions. You take care of the ball. The team wins. Then they come in. They say, "Look, we love you. We know we love this kid. We want to keep this kid here. But you have got to meet us to where we're working together and we're going to have a better team. He's going to be better next year. We want him here. We're telling you we want him here. We'll give him 30, like you said, for 3 years. We'll work something out. If he continues to go up, we'll have something later on to where those numbers are going to go up. If and when but we want him here. Work with us. That's what he tells his agent. I think Jalen goes there and tells the agent, "Look, you work with him or I'm going to get somebody else in here."
Last question for you, Gary. When it comes to Kobe Dean, would you rather see him lined up in a 34 over guards, or would you rather see him in a 43 behind the 2 tackles where he had easier space to go down the line of scrimmage to give him more opportunity at being more productive? When you have 2 tackles in front of you and you got the triangle in front of you, because this is kind of what he had at Georgia. He's a little bit undersized.
That's
not
right.
the biggest guy on the planet.
True.
You line him up over some of these guards in the NFL, like especially the guards that they got in Philly, 6'6", 6'7", 350 pounds, and he's 215.
Yeah, I don't
asking
like that
a lot
matchup.
for a guy in his rookie year to line up in a 34 over those guards.
I don't want him lined up in that 34 like that. You're right. I would like him where they do different things and have those guys shield him where he is lined up in the middle. And in fact, I would have him almost kind of a step behind them, where he's almost kind of lining up behind one of them, because he's a smart kid. The thing he's going to make plays on. He's quick. He's going to be able to anticipate what people are doing to him, and that's the way he makes plays. He doesn't make plays so much coming off the block and everything. No, he'll scrape up into the hole and different things because of his quickness and his smarts. That's why you want to let those big guys shield him, especially his big boy, Big Jordan. Big Jordan can keep 2 or 3 guys off of you.
Yeah, so Gary, that's funny you say that, because I love that technique that you, because I always did this too, and I talked to Michael Carter about this, and I'm just going to use the nose guard.
Yeah.
Sometimes Michael would let that guy get his head front side, but he would have control of him, and he would keep the backside, and he would be pushing the pile down, and he's playing the technique on the backside. Most of the coaches want our head front side, the whole thing there.
Yeah.
But when you get front side like that, boy, you're talking about taking on big people in traffic.
That's right.
With a dude who's not really all that big.
Yeah.
So you'd rather see him trail.
I would rather see him trail. I want him to. I would really give him the freedom to work with the guys there, where he could give them calls, to where he stunts them at times. Because I think that's what really gives offenses problems. It's when those guys are moving at times and they take a step, and that guy's going the other way. And with the quickness that he has, because a lot of times the offensive lineman is going to have a trouble getting to him because he's too quick for those big guys, you know. And most of the time, he makes his best plays. Looking at the Georgia tape, he makes his best plays when he's touching nobody. You know, he uses his quickness to scrape up into the hole, and he makes a good hit and everything. But if he's getting entangled with these big guys, he's not going to make plays like that.
No, he's – hey, okay, we close on this. How many up downs did you have to do for Buddy? How many of those things did you have to do?
Now, this is what really used to tick us off. There's one guy that's not doing them right. So what he's doing, he's going, okay, he's counting them out as we're doing them, right? So he gets to 20, and he says 20 again, and then another 20. Man, hey, coach, what it was because JoJo or somebody back there is not doing them right. And we're going like, kid, if you come out here and cut this kid.
Wait a minute. Hey, JoJo doesn't have his chin strap on, and let's do him again.
That's right.
I'm going to beat your
ass. Hey, I'll tell you what. Those guys used to come up with all kind of injuries, man, when we had to do those up downs. Believe me. Hey, Reggie's stomach was upset. Oh, my coach, my stomach. Hey, he's been working the trainer all day already.
Hey, Gary, I got hit by a sniper last night, man. He hit me in the back.
Hey, Jerome didn't like him either. He didn't like him either, man.
Jerome doing up downs. I would have loved to have seen. There's no way, man. Hey, Jerome Brown doesn't have his chin strap on.
That's right. Hey, oh man, that was the worst part of practice. He always had that at the end of practice too. After you've expended all this energy, now we got to do some stinking up down.
Not good. Gary, I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you so much for doing this, man. Thank you, my friend.
Have a good one. All right.
You got it. That's Gary Cobb, man. Please hit the like button. I can see Jerome doing up downs. Okay. Hey, my friends at Morgan & Morgan. Where the fee is free, that means this, my friends. If you're hurt or injured on the job, finding that attorney for you and your family is one of the most important things that you can possibly do. For the people is not a slogan. It is what they are, and it's who they are. For the last 30 years, they've collected over $13.5 billion, making sure their clients are properly compensated. No such thing as a fender bender at Morgan & Morgan. They're the biggest attorney firm in the country. Over 800 attorneys and offices in Philly, New York, and in Florida. They're ready to do battle for you. Call them at 800-512-1600. That's 800-512-1600. The call is free. The consultation is free. Open 24/7, 7 days a week. 800-512-1600. And when you call Morgan & Morgan, do me a favor. Tell them Big Sil sent you.
After a car crash, the big insurance companies you see advertising on TV, they may try to downplay your case and might say it's only a fender bender or it's just a herniated disc. I worry that some law firms fall for this BS. Not us. We put ourselves in your shoes and ask, what would it be like to be in your pain for the rest of our lives? $1 million wouldn't be enough for me. There's only one Morgan & Morgan. ForThePeople.com.
Stream on a Roku, Fire Stick, Android TV, or Apple TV? Now you can watch 6ABC 24/7 with the 6ABC Philadelphia streaming app.
The big story on Action News.
Search 6ABC Philadelphia and start streaming today.
All right, did you know I was the mommy slam dunk champion?
Really?
Yes, really, don't sound so surprised.
Let's see it.
Oh, you're ready. All right, here we go. Let's hear the crowd. So go to right, I go to left, fake 'em out. Mama, go up, up, up.
She did it.
Again?
You can't avoid gravity, but United Healthcare can help you avoid financial surprises by helping you compare costs and doctor quality ratings. United Healthcare.
Uh-huh.
Go for the poles and the pools. Go for the oohs and the ahs. Go for the bubbles and the bubbly. Go for the story and the stories. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Welcome back. National Football Show. It's your boy Big Phils. Please hit the like button. I love how you guys are throwing stats out for Lamar Jackson and Ryan Tannehill. How many games has Lamar missed in the last 2 years, too? Hey, by the way, you could say the same thing about your boy A.J. Brown. How'd he get a deal when he doesn't even average 1,000 yards a year? You call that elite? If you want to go by just the numbers and the optics, he doesn't have elite numbers. Shit, Hunter Renfro's got better numbers. Hunter Renfro's got better numbers than A.J. Brown. You want to go by numbers, Chris? Hunter Renfro's better. Jalen Waddle had a better year than any year A.J. Brown's ever had. You call that guy elite? He don't have elite numbers. 68 catches, 998 yards a year in 3 years. That ain't Justin Jefferson. And you gave that guy $25 million. Other things you got to look at, right? He hasn't put elite numbers up. He didn't put them up in Tennessee. How did he get a $25 million a year deal? How did A.J. Brown land a $20+ million a year deal in Philly? He doesn't put up numbers like Devontae Adams. By the way, I'm playing devil's advocate here. Do I think he's an elite guy? I do. But if we're just going by the optics and looking at it, when you watch A.J. Brown play, you go like this, that guy's great. When I watch Ryan Tannehill or I watch Lamar Jackson play and then compare him to Jalen, it's night and day. You can put him on paper too, and I'll go like this to you. Well, A.J. Brown doesn't have elite numbers. He doesn't have elite numbers. Tyreek Hill does. A.J. doesn't. I mean, let me double check that so I'm not talking too much shit here. A.J. Brown's stats. Let me double check that. 52 catches. 70. 63. 1051. 1075. 869. I don't know about you. Those aren't elite numbers. Those are not elite numbers. But when you watch the kid play, you go like this. That guy's really good. If I go by Chris's mentality, Lamar Jackson's not all that hot. He only averages 2,400 passing yards. Well, he has been hurt. Last year, he missed like 8 games or something like that. He's not telling you the full story. Because when I watch Lamar and I watch Jalen, you see the same guy? Absolutely not close. It's like the moon and the sun. And you're trying to make it look like they're compatible. And they're not. They're not compatible. Okay, Chris, let's do this. Who would you rather have as your starting quarterback on your freaking football team? Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts? And if I asked anybody with common sense that knows anything about football, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 would say Lamar. Eric goes, Tannehill's not a great passer. Then how did he win? How did he win the AFC last year without A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry? How? I mean, I would never put down on a debate. Well, let's see. Who would you run to start your franchise with? Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson? Oh, man. Come on, dog. That's a dumb conversation. It's not even really anything that's credible. Good passer, not great. That's right. He also wins. The point is that Hurts can be as good as Lamar. So you see Jalen Hurts leading the NFL in passing touchdowns and winning a unanimous MVP award. Chris just said that he sees Jalen as a unanimous MVP and that will lead the NFL in passing yards and take his team to a 14-2 record. More power to you, and I hope it happens. Totally hope that happens. I'm not going to diss that. I hope that happens. Look, if Hurts gets those red zone TDs up, yes. Be nice if he could read more than one player at a time and maybe have multiple reads. Seals is keeping all the receipts. Hey, Bob, no, I somebody just said to me that he could be as good as Lamar, who was a consensus unanimous. I don't know if that's ever been, did that ever happen before? Unanimous MVP? Or was that only in hoop when Steph Curry did that? Okay. Most of Lamar's TDs are red zone and rushing. So the 36 rushing touchdowns, they weren't passing touchdowns the year he led the league. Let's take a look at that. I can't even believe I'm looking up something so obnoxious. Lamar Jackson stats. Lamar Jackson stats. Let's see here. Oh, and for the record, he is 37-12. So Lamar Jackson is 37-12 with a unanimous MVP, led the NFL in passing touchdowns and rushed for 1,200. And you think Jalen Hurts can be better than that? Well, he's off to a pretty rough start in his one-loss record. And he's off, let's see. His first year truly starting, he had 36 touchdowns. Not quite to start. He's 20 behind. He played 12 games and he missed 5 last year. And he still had 28.82. His INTs were up. It was the first time he had double-digit INTs. But most of them are 3, 6, 9. The year he led the NFL in passing touchdowns, he had 36 TDs and 6 picks and 1,200 yards rushing. He's got 84 touchdown passes, really in 3 years of starting. I don't know, man. How many years has he been in the league, too? 4. 4 years he's been in the league. And he's almost got 4,000 rushing yards. And 20. So he's got, is that right? He's got 105 touchdowns combined in his first 4 years. I want to broach something that Gary Cobb and I broached about what the general manager could do at the end of this coming season. I think it's something to think about, and not really a lot of people have talked about it. Do me a favor, please hit the like button. Hour 3, keep it right here on the National Football Show.
Stream on a Roku, Fire Stick, Android TV, or Apple TV? Now you can watch 6ABC 24/7 with the 6ABC Philadelphia streaming app.
The big story on Action News.
Search 6ABC Philadelphia and start streaming today.
All right, did you know I was the mommy slam dunk champion?
Really?
Yes, really, don't sound so surprised.
Let's see it.
Oh, you're ready. All right, here we go. Let's hear the crowd. So go to right, I go to left, fake 'em out. Mama, go up,
She did it.
Again?
You can't avoid gravity, but United Healthcare can help you avoid financial surprises by helping you compare costs and doctor quality ratings. United Healthcare.
Uh-huh.
Go for the pulls and the pools. Go for the oohs and the ahs. Go for the bubbles and the bubbly. Go for the story and the stories. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Yeah. No. Don't worry about it. Look, I helped recruit the 9th best recruiting class in the country this year. I know what I'm talking about. Yep. Now, these people in Philly don't like you. Yeah, no, they like Jalen. That's their boy. Yeah. They're comparing Jalen to Lamar Jackson. I know. I get it. I know. It's wishful thinking, but it's all good. Okay. Yeah. Hey, don't worry, man. Listen, if these folks don't want you in Philly, the Giants, I talked to John Mara. Okay. Very open. I talked to David Tepper too in Carolina. It's a great organization. They're gonna make some changes, I think. Yeah. Hey, don't think that Miami would be out of the possibility too. Yeah. They could draft you. That's right. All right. Hey, I gotta go, man. I got a show going on here. All right. Goodbye. Have to help my guy out, man, because I really love the kid, you know. TBD is a good dude, man. Good dude. Just an absolute good dude. So looking to help him, man. Look, you guys don't know. Hey, if I got to send him to somewhere, man, I would send him to New York, to the Giants. The Giants need a quarterback. Okay? Giants need a quarterback. You guys don't. That's what you're saying. You guys don't need a quarterback. Hit the like button here. I want to ask you something, though. Guys, nobody hits on this. And it came to me while I was talking to Gary Cobb. Let me ask you this. Guys, what do you think Jalen Hurts is? Please, not wishful thinking. What do you truly think his numbers will be this year? And I don't care about running. What do you think his stats are going to be, okay, this year? Last year, he had 3,100 passing yards, and he had 16 touchdowns and 9 picks. What do you truly believe you think his numbers will be this year? I'm going to write them down. Here's mine. Passing. I think Jalen is going to have 38, 75, 25 touchdowns, and 10 picks. Do we think that that's – it would be a 700-yard increase from a year ago. 700 yards. What's up, Jess? So, Jeremiah, you think he goes from 16 touchdowns to 30 passing touchdowns? Maniac, you think he goes and adds 15 touchdowns to his passing number of a year ago when he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn? Drew Brees had an average arm. Drew Brees is one of the greatest throwers of all time. Come on, man. You're comparing Jalen Hurts to Drew Brees? Come on. I can't even continue that conversation. What do you think the number will be? Honestly, 4,000? That says 3,000, 20 touchdowns, 10 picks, 58. If that's the case, he's fired. And I'm not even going to go into where I'm going here. Dad's right. Talking about Drew Brees and Jalen? Who cares about arm strength? Jalen is not accurate. That guy's one of the greatest accuracy passers of all time. Good night. Dude, being a great quarterback has almost nothing to do with having a gigantic arm. Jones says 4,000, 27, and 10. Okay, let me go here with you guys. Okay. Last year, Howie Roseman came to the table. What were the contracts that he did? Wasn't it? Didn't he lock up a linebacker last year, Dallas Goedert, and Jordan Mailata on team-friendly deals? Am I right when I say that? Malata's deal is considered one of the best deals in all of football. Did he not do? I thought he did like 3 guys from a year ago. He gets nowhere near 30 touchdowns. You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. Okay? As a matter of fact, I think the guy who's only thrown for 30 touchdowns, how many guys have thrown for 30 touchdowns in Eagle history? The best single season touchdown passing record for the Eagles.
According to Bleacher Report, Sonny Jurgensen, QB, 1961. But against
Jurgensen had 32. Let's see. $19.19. Randall had 30. McNabb had 31. Jurgensen had 32. Wentz had 33. Dude, you've had 4 guys do it in team history. 4 guys, or actually 3 guys do it, and 1 guy do it twice. What are you, crazy? Guy who's not a touchdown thrower, you're saying he's going to have 30 TDs. Now, there is an extra game, right? That's right. Maniac, there's 17 games. Correct. 17 games now. Here's where I'm going. This is not meant for that conversation. Okay? Sills, you make it seem like the intangibles can improve. What intangibles are you talking about? Being a good dude talking to the media? How about accuracy and just being accurate? Just being accurate. Progression reading. Just that. And wait a second here. Hey, Xander, if you can, put Dank's thing up here. Tangibles can improve. No. Put up Port. Put up Port if you can. Sills, you make it seem like tangibles can improve. Stop the hate on her. Here's where I'm going to go with you here, Port. Follow me here, because this is kind of where the topic is going. Do you think Jalen and the organization would be open to do this? Say the team wins 11 games, win the division, they get an opening round win in the playoffs. Okay? He has 38, 75, and 25 touchdowns and 10 picks. Would you be open to giving him a 3-year contract at $30 million per? Then what you do is you give yourself some time to give him a chance to grow. You don't rip the team apart. Okay? You're winning. You're not holding your salary cap hostage with one big move of $45 million. And if he doesn't hit the 4,200 threshold or the 30 touchdowns that everybody thinks, you do this. Because everybody, it seems, including me, it seems that everybody wants the kid. So we do this. Why rip that whole thing up and torch it? If this guy comes in and gets you 38-75, 11 wins, he throws for 25 touchdowns, you go to his people and you say, listen, let's do a short-term deal. Because quite frankly, guys, he's not getting $45 million on the open market. He's not. Gary Cobb's right. he's more valuable to the Eagles than any other team in the league. Than any other team in the league. And to me, just like Dak was in Dallas, I don't think Dak would have got $45 million from any respected team with great management. I would never have paid that. As a matter of fact, I thought the Cowboys should have went and got Brady. That's kind of what I said. What I'm saying is, Daz, how about this? Instead of looking for the next dude, you give the kid a chance to grow. You give him a chance to learn. You give him a chance. Because if you think he's throwing for 4,200 yards and 35 touchdowns, you're out of your mind. You are out of your mind. Out of your mind. Now, 38-75, 25 and 11 wins. Marcos says Jalen wouldn't get 15 on the open market. That's right, Marcos. But in Philly, he would get the 30. Daz goes talk to me after the season. Well, I can promise you, it ain't going to be 4,200 passing yards. You've had one guy in the team's history have 4,000 passing yards. You've had 3 men throw for 30 touchdowns. And you think this dude here, who struggles with accuracy issues and reading and progression reading, is going to all of a sudden magically, instead of giving the kid, why wouldn't you give the kid a true chance to win and succeed and to grow? If I was Howie, I'd be open to this. And if I was Jalen, I wouldn't shut it down. Because 38-75, shit, dude, Ryan Tannehill could do that for me. Jimmy Garoppolo could do that for me. Jared Goff could do that for me. That's nothing special in a 17-game. Here, 38-75. $38.75. That's 220 yards passing a game. Make it sound like you got some high-powered offense. You don't. It's one-dimensional at best. Trying to become versatile. And by the way, that's not shit-talking. That's what it is. You're a run-first team. Okay? Do you know one thing that Tennessee and the 49ers proved? They're not a run-first team. When Derrick Henry went down, Tannehill led him to the number 1 seed. And A.J. Brown actually being out. Garoppolo has nothing to do with the running game in San Fran. Nothing. Nothing. And they're considered a running football team. Those are solid numbers for any quarterback. Correct. Give them a chance to continue to get better is what I'm saying, Jess. That's all I'm saying. Now, what you do also is that 3-year contract, okay? That 3-year contract gives the team and the kid a chance to get another contract, and then you're investing in yourself. Hey, how many years did Tom Brady take haircuts in New England, take less money to invest in himself and to gamble on himself? How many years? Every year? I don't ever remember Brady being the highest paid player in the history of the league, and he's considered the greatest player in the history of the league. I don't ever remember that. Do you remember Brady being the highest paid player? How can a guy with 7 Super Bowl wins never have been the highest paid player? Because he gambled on himself. Even the last year in New England, when Brady saw the writing on the wall with the empty cupboards, he went like this. I'll give up my no trade or whatever it was so that he could get that final year and decide if he wanted to leave or not. He already knew he was leaving. He had told people. They sold the house, and in Boston, and they were out. I think I bought a home in Greenwich, and I think they got a home now in Tampa. Or no, Miami. They're renting in Tampa, I think, still on Davis Island. His chance is the 2022 season. Boy, so I just want to, hey, I'll get this. Now I'm fighting with people to try to give the kid a chance to really succeed here. So it's either 40 million or nothing. Daz is right. Hey, guys. Daz is right. You guys tried passing last year. It got you 2-5. It got you 2-5. But that'll change this year, right? No way. No way. Philly goes, Sills, are you with us or against us? Let me know. What didn't you hear me earlier in the show? You have the 7th best roster in the NFL. 4th best in the NFC. Your quarterback is the one outlier that stops this thing from success. Every position you have on your football team, people like except your QB. That's not against you. You're winning in spite of that guy. Now, I'm trying to sit here and have a conversation with you saying, let's hope he improves. And if he does, give him a short-term contract, a 3-year deal to continue the success of the kid. And once again, too, am I with you? Hold on. Philly, I root for teams. Rooting for players, interchangeable pieces on a chessboard. Can always get another pawn. Can always get another queen. Can always get another king. It's about winning football games, dog. It's not about falling in love with somebody. I tell people this all the time. When you're evaluating or talking about an NFL team, fall in like with players. Hard not to love guys like Jason Kelce, who played his entire career in Philly. I get that. Or the affection you have for Reggie. Or the respect. I'll tell you something, too, which is really cool. The respect you have for Jalen's great. I admire it. And I think it's warranted. Eric says that Hurts is exciting. What game did you think he was exciting in last year, Eric? What game made you excited when you saw Hurts play? Let me guess. What was a shitty team they beat last year? Let me think. The Lions. Here. What was another one? The Giants. Oh, well, I can't do that because they got beat by the Giants. And Daniel Jones. Which game was that last year where you went, that's exciting? He's exciting. '20th best quarterback. And we in love? Come on, Philly. It's it. The Saints game. Saints again. No playoffs. Falcons. Woo-wee, man. That was a great game against those shitty Falcons. Saints. The New Orleans Saints last year. With no Drew Brees and Trevor Siemian. Yeah. Hey, that was a great game against Trevor Siemian. Hey, I'm not goofing either. Trevor Siemian beat Tom Brady last year. The Broncos, another great shit team last year. Broncos had an underwater record too. Great game. Exciting. Cardinals rookie year. I've not once brought up Carson all day. I don't think I have. Oh, wait. No, I did because we talked about the schedule a little bit. Yeah. I need wins. Well, wait. Chris doesn't like wins. He throws up Lamar Jackson's numbers, but he doesn't throw up 37 and 12. He hates that number. Chris hates that number, that 37 and 12 number of Lamar Jackson as a starting quarterback in the NFL. You guys only get this amount of yards per year, even though he's missed a couple games because of injuries about last 2 years, which is why that contract is not really being negotiated. Hurts most TDs by a quarterback last year. Hurts most TDs by a quarterback last year. Yeah, and he got wait. So he had 26 touchdowns last year. I got to take a look at that. Clueless, let's take a look at that. Who had the most touchdowns in the NFL last year?
Here's information from pro-football-reference.com.
Take a look at this. Running. Okay. Hurts much more entertaining than Wentz. Hurts had the most explosive plays in the NFL last year against teams that were against dopey teams. Exciting. Good night. But how come it always goes here, man? It always goes here with you guys. It does. Hey, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to be as candid as I can. And I'm going to be as hey, Xander, I'm going to be as honest as I can. Okay? I don't believe he's the guy that is going to be an elite quarterback ever in his career. But I do think here's my assessment as of July 5th. I do think he is good enough to get you where if Nick Foles can do it, he can do it. Okay? If Foles can do it, he can do it. He can. If Colin Kaepernick could get to a Super Bowl and Steve McNair, Jalen Hurts can get to one. Will they ever be like elite, and big-time passers? Absolutely not. Oh, really? You don't? No. I think, hey, if Kaepernick can get to a Super Bowl, he can too. I completely believe that. Eli Manning was a passer. Xander called. Xander goes, "Your sarcasm, dog." No, you don't. Maybe not. I don't want Hurts to run. I don't. Would you be surprised if Winston got the Saints to the Super Bowl, Sills? Yes, you could. You could probably sew my head to the carpet. Hurts keeps getting better. Where? Hey, Eric, when Troy Aikman is on a nationally televised game screaming at the set and screaming at the quarterback just to throw it to the left, where did you see that? He got better. What, in helmets and shorts? Because Sirianni's walking around with the Kobayashi, motivational speech? Where are you seeing that? Cat's a great one, Eric. Kaepernick had Harbaugh. I don't want him to run at all. Not going to win football games running. How do you fix accuracy? Good question, Steve. Good question. Timely passing. Dropping back and throwing the ball 35 times is not in that kid's arsenal. Here's how I would do it. That's a great... Hey, Xander, Sills, how do you fix accuracy? That is an absolutely sensational question. It's sensational. Especially with a limited arm. What do you think the number one most important thing is when you're trying to develop a passing game, especially with a guy that's not the most accurate? What do you think would be the most important? Okay? He's not a player that's going to ever throw you out of trouble. And he's got a deficiency in the fact if he's behind, he's not going to throw you back into a game. He's just not. That's not who he is. I'm not so sure Lamar Jackson's that. I'm not so sure Kyler Murray is. I'd like to see more of that. But those quarterbacks like Justin Herbert or Mahomes, man, you could have a 21-point lead on them. They're going to roll back on you. Ball retention. This is what, to me, has to happen when you're talking about improving accuracy for Jalen. You have got to have third and short. He can't be throwing behind the sticks, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 14. How many times did we see that last year? That played into a lot of the inaccuracy and him not being able to find guys open, most notably Devontae Smith. Because when they were in 3rd down and they were throwing the ball, how many times were they in 3rd down and they ran the ball on 3rd down last year because they had been so effective on 1st and 2nd down? What's the point of throwing? How many times did we say this in games last year for the Eagles? You're in 3rd and 3 and you're throwing. Why? Why would you do that? Why would you do that when you have worked so hard on 1st and 2nd down to be in short yardage? That's how you move the sticks, control the clock, and control field position. It's situational play calling. Now with the emergence of Devontae Smith and the acquisition of A.J. Brown, when you're in 3rd and 3, that's a different dynamic now. If I were the Eagles, every single time I was in 3rd and 3, I would try to throw the ball. If I'm in 3rd or 7, no way. He'll have no success because he's not a progression reader. He's not accurate. But you increase his chances of accuracy with 3rd and 3 because you have to play the run against the Eagles. They were number 1 in the NFL in rushing. You have got to be 3rd and short this year. 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. Throw the ball then. Don't throw the ball on 1st and 2nd down, you dumbasses. How many times did they do that when they were 2 and 5, throwing the ball on 1st and 2nd down, 1, 2, 3 kick, or you're in 3rd and long and you have a nightmare situation pop up? That's terrible play calling. That's terrible play calling. So what you have to have is have that to increase his chances of being more accurate. 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, throw it in the slot. Shit, do what Aikman says. Get it out on one-on-one coverage. Find him one-on-one coverage. Get it to these talented wideouts. Got to get it in the hands of Devontae or AJ. AJ's great with yak, yards after the catch. Why wouldn't you do that? If they throw the ball this year, 3rd and 5, that kid will have no chance of success in developing him. He can't throw behind the sticks. 3rd and 5, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11. Can't happen. He ain't. Carson Wentz is terrible behind the sticks. 3rd and 11. You see nightmare plays from that. Here's a Carson Wentz typical series when he throws behind the sticks, 3rd and 12. Hold the ball. Guy gets sacked, fumble, recovered in the near side of the field, kick a field goal, score a touchdown, whatever. Carson Wentz needs to play. That's why his numbers were way better last year, because of Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor's 1,800 yards played into Wentz's 2,700 yards and 27 touchdowns, 3,700 yards and 27 touchdowns and 7 picks. That's what played into those numbers, a 94 quarterback rating, because he was constantly in 3rd and short. Jalen last year in the games against big teams and winning teams, 3rd and long, the entire game. Then Sirianni had some epiphany. Maybe we run the ball. Yeah, and that's when they went to the different play caller. So, what's false? What is false what I said? Okay? Steve goes, the Eagles were the best on 3rd down and 17. That's right. That's right. Carson was the best on 3rd down and 17. That whole football team was really great on 3rd down. Hopefully Hurts. Hard work pays off. Whatever. Hard work. Welcome to the NFL. Everyone works hard. So you are infatuated with the perception of what a good quarterback is. Times change, and so do players. Really? Well, how come the majority of the players that won games in the playoffs last year were pocket passers? Gee, the guys that were in the Super Bowl in the last game were pocket passers. Joe Burrow and Matthew Stafford were pocket passers. I mean, even Rodgers, Garoppolo, pocket passers. Brady, pocket passer. Patrick Mahomes, a pocket passer. They don't want him running. 2 years ago, he did a quarterback sneak and he almost blew his knee out. They don't want any of that. Okay? All pocket passers. The NFL is obsessed with the ideal quarterback? No. The NFL is obsessed with winning games from the pocket. Okay? They're obsessed with winning games traditionally from the pocket. People who get out. Hey, look, Michael Vick was one of the most electric players to ever play in the game. But you know what Michael Vick couldn't do? He couldn't deliver a conference championship, nor could he really. His greatest moment was going up to Green Bay and winning a playoff game. Okay? I mean, he was electric to watch. Didn't really do much in the one-loss column because he couldn't win the games that mattered. Everyone works hard. So since everyone does, Jalen shouldn't work hard? No. Don't give credit for something to somebody who you're. That's like telling me, hey, congratulations, you didn't rob a bank. Congratulations, you didn't rob a bank today. Oh, thanks. What? Everyone else works hard, so he shouldn't? How did you look at it like that? No. Just because you work hard, so do all the 32 quarterbacks. They're all trying to keep their gigs too. That's not how I thought. I don't give credit for something that's a given. Well, he shows up the first player in, the last player out. And that's his job. That's why he gets paid the big money and gets the credit for the wins. You want to give credit for people that it's a given. Hey, he works hard. He's a good dude. He's great with the media. Congratulations. He's an NFL quarterback. Unfortunately, nothing I heard there constituted winning games. Birdman, if the Eagles had Joe Burrow on this roster, they may not lose a game. If Joe Burrow were on the Eagles, Devontae Smith would be a 1,200 guy, AJ be 1,500, and Goddard probably 1,000-yard too. And Sanders would probably have 1,000 yards rushing. They'd probably average 37 points a game if that were the case. All right, I got to take a timeout. Please hit the like button. Keep it right here on the National Football Show.
Stream on a Roku, Fire Stick, Android TV, or Apple TV? Now you can watch 6ABC 24/7 with the 6ABC Philadelphia streaming app.
The big story on Action News.
Search 6ABC Philadelphia and start streaming today.
All right, did you know I was the mommy slam dunk champion?
Really?
Yes, really don't sound so surprised.
Let's see it.
Oh, you're ready. All right, here we go. Let's hear the crowd. So go to right, I go to left, fake him out. Mama, go up, mama!
She did it.
Again?
You can't avoid gravity, but United Healthcare can help you avoid financial surprises by helping you compare costs and doctor quality ratings. United Healthcare.
Uh-huh.
Go for the pulls and the pools. Go for the oohs and the ahs. Go for the bubbles and the bubbly. Go for the story and the stories. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
These Bama guys, man, are on my Twitter page right now. George Teague. I don't know if you guys know the name. George Teague, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think he won a national championship. I think he did it against Miami, too, in the Sugar Bowl. I think they beat UM in the Sugar Bowl back in the day. Miami has beaten Alabama for a national title too. But I think so. George Teague is like, because I put on my Twitter page at Dan Sileo Show. I go like this. I go, word is now that the SEC would like to see if they could put Miami and FSU and Clemson in the conference. George Teague fires at my Twitter page at Dan Sileo Show. Hey, man, well, you guys would be pretty good in basketball in the SEC. You know, you got a pretty good basketball team. And so Big Sills fires back and gives them this. Do you know, old Georgie boy, that since 2000, the Canes have 8 Hall of Famers? Bama's got 2 since 2000. 2. Okay? 2. And we got about 5 more guys that are going. We have about 5. We're probably, at the end of the day, us in Southern Cal are going to have the most Pro Football Hall of Famers in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And I'm just trying to think of all the players that Nick Saban has put in. How many years, Xander, how many years has he been at Alabama now? Is he going like on 12 years there now at Alabama? Let's see. How many guys will make it to Canton that he's coached at Bama? Let's see. 14 now. So 14 years. Let's see. Who will make it to the Pro Football Hall of Fame from Alabama over those 14 years? Miami, like I said, has 8 since 2000. And we got about 4 more that are. Reggie Wayne's surely going to go in. Okay. I don't know what they're going to do with Devin Hester, how they're going to handle that. Okay. Andre Johnson's probably going to go in. I'm trying to figure what guy has he coached that will make it to the Pro Hall of Fame. Let's see. Julio Jones. It's a backlog of wideouts. I think Julio's kind of there. I think he'll get consideration. Who else? Derrick Henry. How many years has Derrick Henry dominated the NFL? 3. He's nowhere near 10,000 rushing yards yet. Well, wait a minute now. He's nowhere near 10,000 rushing yards. You're not going to put a guy in the Hall of Fame if he doesn't have 10,000 rushing yards. That ain't going to happen. Okay, what do you think? This is the 1920s? He's got to be over 1,300 yards to probably get into the Hall of Fame today. So he's got a ways to go. Let me see. Who? What Alabama player that Nick Saban has coached? Larry Fitzgerald went to Pitt. Okay? He went to Pitt. Give me one guy. That guy's coached in 14 years. D'Amico Ryans? Frank Gorzakane. He's going to the Hall of Fame. He's 3rd all-time in rushing. Yeah, you think? Only Peyton and Emmett have more rushing yards. Mark Ingram is not a Pro Football Hall of Famer. The problem at has been shit coaching. It's not been the players. Hell, you could make an argument Calais Campbell could be a Pro Football Hall of Famer. Julio might. Julio could. Julio could. But, dude, Nick Saban's kind of like the Bobby Knight of, like, college coaching. There ain't a lot of dudes where you went like this. They dominated the NFL. I mean, look, Derrick Henry right now, I would say this to you. Derrick Henry, I pray to God that guy continues to put more and big years up because I think he's a freak of nature. And he's Hall of Fame talent for sure. But people in the O-line, the D-line, well, all these great players, They've been marginally good in the NFL. Not a diss. It's just reality. Can you name, like Bobby Knight, outside of Isaiah Thomas, name me one decent NBA player he ever made or ever produced or ever developed at IU or even Texas Tech or Army. Jonathan Allen is not a Hall of Fame player. Bob Knight, you take Isaiah Thomas out of the conversation, he ain't got anybody. And that's 30 years in Bloomington. 30 years in Bloomington. He didn't develop one superstar NBA player except for Isaiah Thomas. They were all dudes that were like, college guys. He wasn't developing people for the pros. Quinn Buckner was decent. Kent Benson was nothing. Scott May turned out to be nobody. Najee Harris is a good player. Hey, one thing about the Bama players, though, in the NFL, they're all solid starters. Okay? They're all solid starters. Not really dominating guys like Ed Reed or Ray Lewis, though. Michael Irvin or Sapp or Cortez or any of them guys. Like my school's produced. They're not guys. Ed Reed's maybe the greatest safety ever lived. Okay? Maybe the greatest I think he's the greatest Hurricane of all time. Okay? Bama puts out really fine ball players they're good. They're just like not overly spectacular like dominators in the league. But take a look at Washington. That entire front seven's almost loaded with Bama guys. Right? Reuben Foster. I'll tell you this, though. There was a time when they had Cornelius Bennett and Derek Thomas. Okay? And Derek Thomas is one of the two guys that got elected to the Hall of Fame since 2000. Derek Thomas is a great football player. Okay? They've always had great coach. Well, when Bama's been great, let me show you this. When Bama has had great coaching, they've been spectacular. Jesus, Xander, the guy in 92 who won the national title, was in Dallas forever with Tom Landry. Oh, what's the guy's name? That coached that team that beat Miami for the title in the Sugar Bowl. What the hell was that guy's name? Dawkins is not better than Reed. Not happening. Sorry, he's not. Ed Reed might be one of the greatest special teams guys, too. What was that guy's name, man? Big, tall guy. Like Lee or... He was really, really a fine ball coach, too. And he put that program back. But back in the day, man, they had Bennett and Derek Thomas as the two defensive ends pass rushing. Alabama, when they get good coaching, dude, they're like UM. Or UM's like them because they've done it longer. When UM has great coaching like they do today with Mario Cristobal, okay, they're a force. Alabama's always going to be a force when they have good coaching. That's what's going to be. Hey, Saban's like 70 now, right? I can't wait to see who takes that program over. Okay, Daz, you take Dawkins, I'll take Ed Reed. Hey, wait a minute. Let me see something here too. How many years Ed Reed was the defensive player of the year? Ed Reed. Michigan has done what? Yeah, they produced Tom Brady, who they hated. They kept trying to give the quarterback job to Drew Henson. Ed Reed was the defensive player of the year, 9-time Pro Bowler, led the NFL in interceptions 3 times. Was on the All-Decade team, the 100th anniversary team. Ravens Ring of Honor. Consensus All-American. NFL records. Most career interceptions, return yards. Longest interception return, 108. Most career postseason interceptions, 9. Most seasons leading the league in interceptions, 3. You think Brian Dawkins is better than Ed Reed? I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay, I will look up Dawkins. Brian Dawkins. Nine-time Pro Bowler. Nice. All-Decade team. Eagles Ring of Honor. That's a far cry from Ed Reed's resume. Ed Reed was the Defensive Player of the Year from the safety position. How many safeties? That's a great question. How many safeties have been named NFL Defensive Player of the Year? Let's see, safeties. Dick Anderson, 73. Mel's a corner. Kenny Easley, 84. Ed Reed, 2004. Bob Sanders? Bob Sanders, that guy from Indy won the Defensive Player of the Year award? Holy shit. That I did not know. Lawrence Taylor, J.J. Watt, Aaron Donald are the only players to win the award 3 times. Joe Green twice, Mike Singletary twice, Reggie White twice, Ray Lewis twice. By the way, Brian Dawkins is a great player, okay? I hate when you get in conversations with somebody that I revere and I respect like that, okay? Because Brian can play his ass off. Troy Polamalu was a hell of a ball player too. But I would say in the last 22 years, the best safeties are Dawkins and Reed. I think Polamalu is right there, though. I do. I think he's right there. I can't believe Bob Sanders. Urlacher's a linebacker. I'm talking safety here. I can't believe that Bob Sanders. Hey, dude, man, if that guy, if that guy ever could stay healthy, I remember him now. Tony Dungy loved that guy. I forget, was he an Iowa guy? Okay. Well, Ed Reed's a Hall of Famer too. Daz. And a hitter. Ed was a great hitter too. You got to take a look at the video of him knocking that guy out. I'll tell you somebody who would have been better than every one of them. Sean Taylor. If Sean Taylor had lived, Sean Taylor would have been the greatest Hurricane that ever lived. Sean Taylor, Jerome, man, he was spectacular, but Sean Taylor could play, man. Man, I love that kid. God, we had such a great relationship. I love Sean Taylor. Man, Sean Taylor, what a great dude. What a great conversation you could have with him. He was such a great guy. He really was. God rest his soul, man. God, could he? Hey, Kenneth, Rip, man, that guy could play, man. He really could. All right. Hey, you guys were spectacular today. Dude, we're 21 days away from the start of training camp. Tomorrow's 20 days. I cannot wait for this. Look, we have such great spirited conversations. I can't thank you guys enough, man. You guys are just so awesome. Do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Xander, great stuff as always. Everyone was spectacular. By the way, if you missed any of the show, please watch it, share it. send it around the place a little bit so people can start to come aboard with us even more because we're going to have a great football season. I can't thank you guys enough for making this happen each and every single day. Till tomorrow, 3 to 6. We'll see you on the flip side.